My name is Darlene, and I live in Boulder, Colorado. I'm a psychotherapist there in private practice. And over the years, my work has become more intuitive based than cognitive intellectual psychology. And last summer, I went to Naropa University there, which is the Buddhist university, and heard Gabor Mate give a day-long talk on trauma, and so he was talking about ayahuasca and talking a lot about developmental trauma. You know, a lot of times we think of trauma as being in a war or being raped or something, but developmental trauma is that chronic experiences that we have in childhood of neglect or pain, and it really resonated for me that I had a lot of that. And I've done my share of talk therapy and read and worked through as much as I can, but there was a lot that was still kind of a hook in me. And I also have an autoimmune disorder. I have Hashimoto's, which is where your immune system attacks your thyroid, and then it attacks the brain and other parts of the body, and it's become quite severe. So I just really felt intrigued by what he was saying of the power of the ayahuasca to go past the rational, intellectual mind and more into the body and the energy, where most of our woundings are stored, and all of our disease starts energetically before it manifests physically. I think coming, and which by the way, this it's my first time of experiencing ayahuasca or this process, that being in a circle of all women, it felt safer to be very vulnerable, and everybody's sharings were so open and authentic and from the heart and from their pain, and just very touching. And so we really created a very safe circle for all of us. And the journeys are not so attractive of going through, you are purging in all directions, and we were able to have very open conversations around that sort of stuff. And just for me, I think I would have felt a little more self-conscious having men there with doing that. I think maybe the next time around I might feel a little more comfortable, but given the fact that this was my first time, that was something that was very nice to have. And there was just a kind of sacredness. So it wasn't just doing the ayahuasca journeys. We had 4 journeys in the 9 days, but we also incorporated various yoga in it, and the maestras gave us medicinal remedies every morning, separate from the ayahuasca, and massages that we did, and flower baths, and so there was just, it was almost like being in an ayahuasca spa. So one of the things that I got in the first journey that I was doing is I was letting go of a lot of the ancestral wounding from my family that I had been carrying with me. And I really got that sense that that is, what was the energy that I was leaving, and leaving a lot of the challenges my body has had with the Hashimoto's. I'm really curious to see where I will be physically in 3 months. What the maestro had shared with me, they pulled a lot out of my body, and I'm going to be a little weak while the cells regrow. So I'm going to be bringing with me that healing energy that the maestras put in me to help me to finish my healing as I get back home. Yeah, so one of the appealing aspects of coming to have ayahuasca journeys here was there was this blending of the Shipibo tradition and medicine and Western world psychology therapy being integrated together. So we would have our journey, and then the next day we would process the journeys. And so the facilitators would help us to be able to create more understanding or meaning of processing of what emotions had come up, where their roots came from within our childhoods or in our past. And that was really helpful to do, I think, especially because, you know, we have such Western minds that, and being a therapist myself, that was something that was easy for me to be able to integrate, to hear. And it was nice as a therapist to hear how Tanya, Mate, and Deanna did those processes with each one of us, the exploration questions, and it's definitely something that I know will impact my work with my clients as I go back. I have a tremendous amount of gratitude. I got the sense in the journeys that the maestras are the doctors and the facilitators were the nurses. And the maestras were doing the powerful work on us, and the facilitators were there practically carrying us to the bathroom, you know, sitting there while we're purging. You kind of think of what a nurse does in a hospital. They were doing, and holding your hand and giving you a hug as you needed, and just having their presence there. I can't imagine going through these processes without that. The Temple of the Way of Light's Women's Retreat has been a powerful safe haven of entering into a new world of, or a new layer of the world of that we just aren't in touch with in our everyday lives, that I just wasn't aware, you know, that was there and what was being offered. And the temple is so well run and organized, and everything that you really need is here. Not everything you want. There's not hot water, you know. But there was a lot of care, I could tell, and intention in creating this space for everyone to be able to come to do their work and their healing.